The biggest drama of the Streamer Awards is here. If you don't know what the Streamer Awards, they are basically an award show where everybody on Twitch gets together, decides who they think is the best streamers based off of an entirely arbitrary system, and votes on said thing and presents it to everybody. Some notable winnings are that Speed won Streamer of the Year, cash.app won Just Chatting Streamer of the Year, and many other FaZe Clan members won the Just Coming Up or the Best Gaming Esports thing, etc. FaZe won a lot of it. And so when FaZe was involved in a drama, it was kind of expected. You win a lot of awards, you're going to get some backlash. But this drama is huge and goes back an entire year ago to a year and a half ago when FaZe was not like what it is today. See, if you don't know, FaZe had a rebranding. This rebranding consisted of a lot of different things. The main thing was dropping 80% of the people in FaZe. They dropped every single person that was not actually a gamer and was not actually popping on streaming services. This was all brought about by FaZe Banks, who is basically acting CEO out of FaZe, or just the guy who makes the decisions. Now, last year, it was not like this. We had corporate entities. Snoop Dogg was in FaZe for whatever reason. There was literally no rhyme or reason about why people were added to FaZe. And a lot of people hated this. One of the biggest was FaZe Rain. FaZe Rain is a huge streamer in FaZe. He was known for all of his trick shots back in the day of COD. And honestly, he has had a long and rough journey. Struggling with overdosing on stream, possibly, or attempting to at least. Struggling with saying the N-word in videos. Struggling with just being blatantly sexist in certain times. And he's had to go through a metamorphosis. He has had to change a lot to stay relevant, and on top of that, just stay a good human being. And so after it came out that he was in a controversy about a year ago with a woman named Grace Van Dien, it was not something that was unheard of. If you don't know who Grace Van Dien is, she is a person that played Chrissy on Stranger Things. If that means nothing to you, then you probably don't watch Stranger Things, so that's fair. But basically, she's this person. She showed up for one episode in Stranger Things where she basically immediately dies. That's her entire character. She's a cheerleader, and she dies. Not really a role that is super hard to play, and not really a role that had a ton of impact either. Obviously, it had impact on the story because someone died, but not really a main character, not really anything special. So, last night, when she decides to call out FaZe, it was a weird thing for her to do. A lot of people didn't understand why. Why is this Stranger Things guy or girl calling out FaZe? Well, it's because about a year and a half ago, like I stated earlier, this happened.
I'm Grace Van Dien. I'm Bluefy. It means blue girl. Fee is girl in French. I wanted blue girl, but it was taken, and I love French, so don't speak it very well, but I wish I did. I'm a bit of a homebody. I'm an actress, but I like to stay home, so streaming is perfect.
Good actress, not a good life.
So basically, this kicked off her streaming career, made her rise to fame. And so obviously, like we've established, FaZe Rain, being someone who has been sexist in his history and racist in certain scenarios, is not very happy because he doesn't like the new FaZe. He doesn't like the corporatized idea behind FaZe. And now he is, of course, reformed, but you can always see those sexist undertones in what he says. So he calls her two things that are extremely ridiculous and honestly wrong to say. The first thing he says is she is mid. And the second one, mid obviously meaning not very attractive, ugly, not good looking, not as good as what people say. And then the second thing was he wouldn't let her touch him if he was drunk, which is just like next level calling someone ugly. That's just a wrong thing to do. And FaZe Rain isn't like the peak of attractiveness. Like, he's just a pretty average guy from what I've seen. And that obviously makes her angry. And so what she decides to retaliate by saying is that he should have overdosed, that he should have died because of his addiction to drugs. Now, that is even more uncalled for than what he said. He called her ugly, and so she said, you should have died. That's a absolutely petty thing to say. That's a wrong thing to say. Why you would ever say that to anyone, I don't know. I would never wish death on a single human being. So it just doesn't make much sense to me. But this was her response video, which also after that caused a that also caused a big issue with him where they met up in person. But let's go ahead and watch this response video real fast.
He says that I don't even know what a trick shot is. You're right, I don't. And I know that that's kind of what you're known for, but I know you, Rain, as the person who almost overdosed on a live stream. And I know that you're better now, and I'm really proud of you for that. I am, because I grew up with a mom heavily into drugs, and
one thing I'm going to say about this response is it was probably one of the stupidest responses ever. Why bring it up if you're proud of him? Why would you bring that up to begin with? It's not a good thing. It's not a good look. It's not a good thing to say. It's like saying, I know that you're a pathetic loser. I've had pathetic losers in my life too. It's like it's clearly trying to hit a nerve and then saying, oh, well, but I have a friend that's like this, so it's okay that I said that. I can diss you on it because I'm also like you. I think it was a really stupid thing to say to begin with.
those things when you're little, the things that you would make wishes on.
She continues to talk about how her mom had issues with drugs. So if anything, the way I see it is she knows firsthand the impacts that this can have on somebody, and she still decided to say it. I really don't think there's any response you can have to this.
Like when you're driving under a tunnel and you make a wish, or you make a wish on a dandelion, or you make a wish on a shooting star, anything like that. I made all of my wishes growing up that my mom would get better and stop doing drugs, but she didn't. So I am proud of you for getting better, but don't come after me for not knowing what a trick shot is, man. Like, we're not on the same plane.
Don't come after me for not knowing what a trick shot is when you joined a trick shot agency. It's just a crazy remark. Now, like I said, was it right for him to say some mean things about her appearances, something that she cannot control? No. But was it right for her to say something about him dying? Absolutely not either. Especially considering death is something you can't control and it's final. If you really wanted to change your appearance, you can go through processes to make yourself look at least better. It's like putting makeup on a frog. You can make yourself look better. That frog might be a very attractive frog. You know, that's all I'm saying. When it comes to drug use and overdose and anything like that, death is final. The implications of drug use over a long span are final. Continuing though, let's go ahead and finish out this conversation that they had, where basically FaZe Rain had her in his apartment, able to talk to her and figure out what was at the bottom of everything.
I'm fucking hurt. I almost died. And I called you mid and you responded something that almost took my life, that almost left my mom without a son and support. See, I can play that fucking game all day.
I'm an actor too, bitch!
Fuck that game. I don't give a fuck. And it's like, how could you let other people hurt your feelings? Do you not believe in yourself? Are you not a confident woman? You should be. You should be. You've accomplished great things. You should feel confident in yourself.
Am I
Fuck
not
all
a
that.
confident woman? You don't know me.
So then how's this hurting your feelings? If I called you mid, you should be like, fuck him. Who cares what I say? And if you bring up my drug past, are you getting emotional?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just speaking the truth. I don't want you to get emotional.
I don't like you.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just being very logical. I understand how you feel, but you brought things.
Now, I will say in this scenario, it does seem like FaZe Rain is trying his best to try to comfort her in any way possible in this scenario. Maybe that's me taking it wrong, but we'll get into another clip of this as well later. But one sec.
He's up against me. How
I
do you
think
expect
you're
me
a
to react?
terrible person.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, she's pulling the acting shit up now. Because I said that
Pulling the acting shit out now?
How am I a terrible person for what?
Pulling the acting
How
shit
am I a
out
terrible
now.
person? Explain.
I don't owe you an explanation, actually.
And I owe you an explanation.
Macho, tell Vera that I'm not doing this video, and if they release anything, that I'm leaving FaZe.
Basically, he doesn't care that she's leaving FaZe. That's kind of what he wanted anyways. That's kind of an empty threat.
But, I mean...
Continuing though, there is one more thing where she does call him sexist for his remarks, which, to be fair, that's warranted. I mean, calling someone mid and that you continuing.
Because what's your goal?
I want to stop sexism in the gaming industry.
Okay. But, I mean, if you feel what I said was necessarily sexist, I don't.
I do. You wouldn't have said
That's
it if I was
crazy.
a guy.
I mean, guys call guys ugly as fuck all the fucking time.
You wouldn't have said that you wouldn't let me touch you on your drunkest night.
Well, guys have different. You just say different. If I was,
Like, I don't even know where this conversation is going right now. It's just so random. So it just.
but I'm a straight male. If I was a gay male would say something about that. It's not about sexism. What's your goal?
Okay, so basically he's saying that it's not sexist because he can speak on that because he's attracted to females. It doesn't make much sense to me. I think his response doesn't make much sense. I think he could have just basically said, yeah, I shouldn't have called you men. That's a wrong thing for me to do. That's all there is to it. She's not going to stop sexism in the gaming community by joining FaZe. That is the stupidest thing. If anything, she caused more sexism because she didn't know anything about the industry she was joining, and that was abundantly clear. And on top of that, FaZe Rain does figure out we do figure out why FaZe Rain was so angry that she was in FaZe to begin with. And the reason why is because she is literally an industry plant. I'll go ahead and let it come right out of his mouth.
Boys, how do you guys feel about Grace being in FaZe still? Why would she want to be a place where nobody wants her? Why? And then he's like, well, it's not like, obviously we don't care, but it's UTA. We'll lose McDonald's, and I want to say he said Porsche, if we don't keep Grace, because her dad or somebody's friends with somebody. It's just some sort of connection there that they need her to come out, because it's not like she provides crazy numbers, or it's nothing like that, right? It's not like she's like a person that's like dominating and like they need her for her numbers.
Right. So they went with her just because it made sense to satisfy like sponsors.
Well, it's not even just to satisfy sponsors, because you can grab a billion other people that satisfy sponsors. It's literally, say if you had a kid and you wanted him in Milk Boy, so you talked to Kyle and said, bro, just make it happen, Kyle. Just put him in Milk. Just put him in, or else I'm cutting all your deals.
So basically, she had an issue where her father seemingly is involved in business, and so he can basically say, hey, I'm cutting your deal, FaZe, if you don't put her in. Now, obviously, watching what she had done up to this point kind of shows that she does seem like a spoiled child. Now, with that being said, does she have some warrant by stopping sexist in the gaming community? That's a positive. That's a very large positive. You want to stop sexism in the gaming community? So do I. Let's get on a train and stop it. Like, I mean, if I had a button that said stop sexism, I would do it. I would actively click that button. Do I make a point of having my wife play games with me because I want her to enjoy gaming? That is something that I enjoy. Absolutely. Am I sexist while gaming? Absolutely not. I'll play with a girl the same way I'll play with a guy. That's just how it works, you know. If I could stop sexism, I would. In general, I'm feminist, and I'm 6'6", by the way. But it was a very misguided attempt. Having your father get you involved in FaZe, getting in an argument almost immediately over being called ugly, which is something that you're gonna have to get used to. Dude, I have acne on the internet. You think I don't get criticisms every single day? You don't think it pushed me to get on 4 different acne medicines that I'm on right now to try to fix that issue? No, it absolutely does. Comments hurt. They absolutely hurt. I'm not going to say you should just throw that away, but calling it sexist is not necessarily the right route to go. She really could have taken this and gone forward with it, but instead she tried to flex her father's power, or what she perceives as her own power even, and leaves FaZe because of it. And that brings us all to this clip right here, which I cannot find the entire clip, but basically this is what she says.
That's why I was never accepted into FaZe, right, guys? Yeah.
And there's an edit right after this of all of the FaZe members, and they're kind of like not caring at all. And that's all right. I mean, people aren't going to care. They didn't care about her to start. They're not going to care about her now. The gaming industry does not. It goes on without her. I mean, she's just a tiny, minuscule blip. A random actress that was on a Stranger Things as like barely over an extra. She had like a large part in one episode. Like, she does not mean much to anything, and it could have been very easily filled. She was a blonde high school cheerleader. You know how many people can play a blonde high school cheerleader? I think I could have with a makeup and a wig, realistically. And so she goes ahead and continues getting mad at FaZe. So FaZe Banks says, "You are a slam pig, LOL," which that's a gross thing to say as well, FaZe. I don't know why he decided to comment on that, but nobody's afraid of you or your baby voices or your 80 pounds emo boyfriend. Stop clinging on to our S word. Nobody knows you or gives an F about you. You tried to force your way into FaZe. You're an effing cornball, and none of us wanted, and you're still mad. Fair. I mean, most of that is fair. Besides the first, before the first comma, I understand it. FaZe guys are so brave online, but just started whispering whenever they saw me last night. Micro energy. So she's saying, she's basically insulting their penis sizes, which, I mean, whatever. Also, I feel like this is important. This is the 80 pounds emo boyfriend. He is 100% not intimidating at all. I won't lie. It is kind of funny. That quote is kind of funny. 80 pounds does seem like right at the range where he is. The next thing is FaZe Ronaldo says, let's fix this, Grace. Let me take you out to dinner. No, not just the FaZe boys, just us. That was the joke. In FaZe, that's been a joke for a while. Continuing though, this is crazy. I mean, they didn't take it any type of way, but she clearly did, and the FaZe fan base also clearly did, because if we look at the tweet from FaZe Banks right here, you're gonna see that she actually deleted her account. She deleted her entire account. This post from an account that no longer exists. So she deleted her Twitter account because of how much hate she was getting. Now, I don't condone hate. Hate is not a good thing to be thrown out there. Hate is a bad thing. Hate only causes problems, and hate met with hate causes even more problems. But in this case, it does seemingly solve the problem for FaZe. FaZe is not a esports org that cares about women. I'm just going to be straight up with you. They don't really care about women being involved in their ranks. They are gamers. They are people who are afraid of women, and that's okay. Calling women bad names, obviously an issue. FaZe Banks calling women's names, I don't think that's a great thing to do. I would never think that's a great thing to do. Continuing with the hate creates more hate. But yeah, that was this streamer drama. If you liked it, let me know. We're going to finish this video off with a verse from Matthew 22:37. Jesus replied, love the Lord, your God, with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. If you'd like to ever talk about Jesus, join my public Discord, and I will see you guys in the next one.